So you want to start an LLC, but don't want to mess it up. You're not alone. As of 2024, there are over 33 million businesses in the United States, and we've seen an explosion of growth in entrepreneurship since 2020. Whether you're starting a window cleaning business, selling products on Etsy, or creating content on YouTube, you've likely heard it's a good idea to have an LLC or a limited liability company. I've set up over 20 LLCs for my businesses and real estate investments over the years, and there are some critical lessons I've learned along the way. I want to share with you the most important lessons I've learned when starting an LLC so you can be prepared. Let's start by determining which state you should register your LLC in. You may have heard that you should create an LLC in states like Delaware or Wyoming, but what most don't realize is that you still need to file taxes for your business in the state for which you reside. For example, if you started an LLC in Wyoming, but you live in California, you'll still need to file a tax return in both Wyoming and California. This is often referred to as a foreign entity registration, which adds additional costs to maintain the filing in multiple states. In most cases, it's best just to create the LLC in the state where you live or where the business is located. Next, we need to answer the question of, should I pay a service to file my LLC, or can I do it myself? For most people, creating an LLC can seem scary and overwhelming, but it's actually quite simple once you know the steps. When I created my first few LLCs, I spent many hours researching what was required, and just like anything you do enough times, it becomes easier as you go. I enjoy the process of learning this stuff, but I know most people don't care, and they just want to have it done and done right. If you do it yourself, then all you will be paying is the state filing fees. Each state varies, but you can expect to pay $50 to $300 to file your LLC with that state. For example, Colorado charges $50 to file versus Texas charges $300. While Texas has the largest initial filing fee, it's California that's the most expensive continuing to operate that business. Shocker, I know. California charges $70 to file your LLC, but it also requires a minimum annual filing fee of $800 no matter how much revenue you make. Pretty crazy, huh? Let's assume you're like me and plan to file the LLC yourself to save some money and learn the process. There's still one service I would recommend and pay for that protects you and your family and your privacy. Let me explain. In order for a state to grant you the privilege to form and establish a business and begin the process of separating your personal identity with your LLC's separate identity, the state wants to be sure that your business can be contacted by anyone regarding important communications, such as legal notices or service of process. To do that, you will need to identify and list your registered agent and the office in your formation paperwork. Because of the time-sensitive nature of several communications delivered to a registered agent, it's important you select a registered agent whom you can trust and get your vital communications in a prompt and timely manner. Your registered agent must be regularly available to accept your LLC's state and legal mail at a physical location in that state. This means that if you opt to be your own registered agent, your name and home address, office address, will be part of your LLC's permanent public record. So hiring a registered agent service can help you keep your personal information more private. Let me show you what information is available to the public using my own company, Polifka Ventures LLC, as an example. My company is registered in Colorado, so I would go to the Colorado Secretary of State website and do a business search for Polifka Ventures LLC. As you can see, I registered this company on July 31st, 2024, and the principal office street address is 1942 Broadway in Boulder. That's my registered agent office address and used as my business address because I operate an online business. This protects my personal information and provides a physical mailing address for the business. If you don't want your name and home address listed for anyone to find online, then you need to hire a registered agent in the state you create the LLC. I recommend using Northwest Registered Agent for this service because it is a low-cost option and they make it really easy, and you can find a link in the description down below. If you use my link, I do get paid a small fee if you use their service, but I only recommend services that I personally use myself. Let's take a look at the dashboard in Northwest Registered Agent for one of my companies called Polifka Ventures LLC. You can see I had them file my LLC with the state of Colorado, and they were listed as the registered agent. They do have a great deal for customers. It's only $39 plus the state filing fees. And then you get 1 year of a registered agent service for free or part of that package. Included in this offer is filing your LLC, you get the registered agent service, you get a business address, and a templated operating agreement, which basically they auto-create based off of the information you provide to them. That operating agreement, it's an important part of maintaining your business, which I'll discuss later in the video. After 1 year, it is $125 per year to have that registered agent service. So for me to register my LLC in Colorado costs $39 plus the $50 state filing fee. One of the coolest things in the Northwest registered agent dashboard of that service is the documents section. Any official mail that comes to your registered office address, it's scanned and then they notify you of those new documents so you can look at and see what mail came in. You can see I filed for my business EIN and they received that SS4 letter document from the IRS, which confirms the EIN number. It's a great service to have everything organized in one place in a digital format. While I'm not going to go through all the steps of creating your LLC in this video, I'd recommend clicking the link down below in the description for Northwest Registered Agent, as they have an entire process laid out for you. I'll have another video coming out soon that goes step by step through the entire LLC creation process. So hit subscribe and the notification bell so you'll get notified when that video does come out. After you've filed your LLC with the state, the next mistake to avoid is delaying setting up your business checking account. A business bank account will enable you to pay for expenses from your business account versus your own personal bank accounts. This will help establish credit for your business, but also maintain the corporate veil by not commingling your funds with your personal money. In order to create a business checking account, you will need an EIN, that's the employer identification number, and the articles of organization from your state in which the business is registered in. Some banks may want to see an operating agreement so they can determine who's able to create a business banking account, but not all of them do. Getting an EIN for your business is easy and fast. You can do it yourself by going to the IRS website, or you can pay or hire a service like Northwest Registered Agent. As mentioned before, I think it's about $50 for them to do it. Depending on your banking needs, you may want to use a local bank if you have plans to use cash deposits on a regular basis. Or you can use an online bank if you're operating a business that doesn't require a banking office branch. I recommend Bluevine for those that prefer to manage their banking online and don't need that local bank. I'll leave the link in the description down below for Bluevine if you're interested. Now you have your business checking account set up, and it's critically important that we talk about maintaining the corporate veil for your business. Creating a limited liability company is designed to offer protection that limits exposure to your personal assets. In order to ensure this protection, you need to perform certain actions in your business. First, you need to maintain necessary filings, undertake any annual filings required by the state of incorporation in a timely manner, and pay those fees as necessary. Recommended formalities include creating and regularly updating an operating agreement, issuing membership certificates to those owners, keeping a membership transfer ledger, and holding both the initial and the annual meetings of the members so you can keep track. Documenting business actions. You will need to document the major business decisions and major meetings you hold. For example, sign and keep contracts your company enters. Document that you held the initial and annual meetings of directors and shareholders, and keep any meetings minutes from each of those meetings. Keep formal business documents for at least 7 years. Next is don't commingle business and personal assets. This is why you create the business bank accounts. Keep business assets separate from the assets of the owners. Have a business checking account or business credit card and only use these for business expenses. Also keep assets such as equipment and property separate from your personal. Ensure adequate business capitalization. Your business will need money and the equipment necessary for both start and continue operations. There are many ways to do this through your own money or accepting money from others and making them business owners, or through a business loan. Whatever your approach, without adequate capital, your business will not survive. So keep in mind, this capital needs to be designated to your business and not to you. Make your corporate LLC status known. This can be as simple as creating a business card that displays your name and the name of the LLC, make purchases and pay invoices via the business checking account or credit card, create invoices in the company name to send to your clients, and also any contracts, leases, or documents that you sign should be in the company name and not in your individual name. All of these actions can help protect your personal assets by separating your business activities from the owners. Many people use LLCs when investing in real estate. There are some unique considerations when it comes to avoiding mistakes in starting an LLC for real estate investing. Ideally, you should be establishing the LLC prior to purchasing the property so you can buy the property under the LLC's name. This avoids having your name on the title of the property, which is public record in most states. It also provides the asset protection that the limited liability company provides, assuming you maintain the LLC's corporate veil. If you do start with the investment property in your name, then decide to transfer ownership over to your LLC, there could be an issue with due on sale clause. Basically, anytime the property is transferred or sold, that mortgage becomes due. It doesn't seem like mortgage companies are that strict about this, but it is important to understand. If you're purchasing a property in a different state than your primary residence, then set up the LLC in the state you're going to be purchasing that investment property. If you acquire multiple properties in that state, you can put them in the same LLC. There are a lot of complexities involved with investing in real estate, so get expert advice from a real estate attorney. If you're finding value in this video, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. It helps me understand if this is resonating with you. If your business earns ordinary income, such as selling products or services, then you will likely want to convert your LLC into an S-corporation at some point in time. The mistake you want to avoid is waiting too long before electing S-corp status. The process of converting your LLC to an S-corp is simple, but maintaining the S-corp will require more tax filings and comes with additional expenses that are associated with running an S-corp. Most business owners will want to convert their LLC into an S-corp for tax savings, so knowing when you plan to make this election is important. Keep in mind that LLCs are pass-through entities, which means any income generated from the LLC gets passed through to the owners of that LLC. If your business generates ordinary income, such as selling products or services, then each business owner could be subject to the 15.3% self-employment tax. By electing the S-corp status for your LLC, this can allow you to save on that self-employment tax by paying yourself a reasonable salary, a W-2 salary, and taking distributions for the remainder of that income. This can save the business owners tens of thousands of dollars in self-employment taxes, but you do need to determine when it makes sense to make this change. Most tax professionals recommend considering the S-corp election when your profits from the business are over $50,000 a year. When your business profits hit this level, you could save money on self-employment tax even though the cost of managing an S-corp has increased. While you don't need to file the S-corp election when creating the LLC, it is important to consider the deadlines for electing the S-corp status and how much income that you plan to earn from that business during the tax year. It's best to talk with a tax professional when determining that ideal timing for S-corp election. My recommendation is to have an idea when you plan to elect the S-corp status and make sure you don't wait too long, which could cost you thousands of dollars in taxes that you could have avoided. The next mistake I want to help you avoid is not filing proper forms for your business on time. When you start an LLC, you're now expected to maintain the business by filing annual reports in addition to tax returns. Here are some of the most common forms you should familiarize yourself with to avoid those headaches later on. Let's start with the W-9 and 1099 forms. These are forms that will be used if you pay someone more than $600 during the year from your business. This could be hiring a contractor to build a website or a business consultant. Basically, anyone you pay which is not an employee should have them complete a W-9 form at the time of work so you can file that 1099 tax return at the end of the year. For example, if you hired someone to manage your online advertising and you expect to pay them more than $600 during that year, then you should have them complete that W-9 tax form at the beginning of that contract period. When the year ends, you will then send them the 1099 tax form, which details the amount of money you paid them and which tax ID it's associated with. Depending on the type of LLC you create will determine what tax forms you will need to file and when they're due. Here's a high-level overview of the different forms that you can expect to complete based on your business structure. If you set up a single-member LLC, you will use Form 1040 and a Schedule C each year for income taxes. If you have more than one member in your LLC, you'll file a multi-member tax return, also known as a 1065 partnership. Each of the members in the partnership will also receive a K-1, which details their specific share of those profits and distributions. Once you elect the S corporation status, it will become a little more complex because you'll need to file for the business form 1120S plus K-1s for the distributions to the owners or the partners and W-2s to any employees, including yourself, that you've paid out. The S-Corp will also need to file quarterly employer tax returns for those payroll expenses and also a 940 or 941 form, depending on if you're filing quarterly or annually for those payroll expenses. Hopefully this was helpful and not super overwhelming. Remember to take it one step at a time. Avoiding these mistakes before you start your LLC is important, and hopefully you'll learn from my mistakes. Over the decades of doing business, I've noticed about 5 things that have made me consistently more money. Watch this video next on the 5 investments that have tripled my income. Thanks for coming and watching. I'll see you next time.